Cocoon, Episode 6 of Hellbound begins the Season 1 finale with Youngjae ringing Hye-Jin. Of course, she's at the New Truth headquarters, and when Youngjae finds out, he's shocked. Deacon Youngjae is the one to greet her, and hands over the USB stick to him, the one holding the video of Toy's decree. With the USB in hand, he leaves the room and immediately rings Chairman Kim, demanding he see this. With the meeting called, all of New Truth personnel wind up watching the video, reeling over what to do regarding this. Despite Hye-Jin being wanted by many people, she just rocks up next to Youngjae in the New Truth headquarters. How do Hye-Jin and Youngjae save Toy? One of the Soto subordinates suddenly makes a massive scene, claiming he's received a decree, and he's due to be killed in 10 minutes. Of course, this is all a distraction as the press surround him and begins snapping pictures. When Deacon Youngjae finds out, he heads down to the main atrium as Youngjae, Hye-Jin, and the others race up and rescue Toy. The gang make it down into the parking lot and charge away to safety. Unfortunately, Chairman Kim takes out his frustrations on Youngjae, slapping him around and bringing up the upcoming demonstration as proof that they need to get a move on. After all, if the video of Toy gets out, it could be the end of them. What happens with Toy's decree? Meanwhile, Youngjae and the others make it to a secluded neighborhood where an informant by the name of Dongwook is waiting for them. Arriving together, they make their way into the man's house. This guy used to be a follower of New Truth, but turned away from their doctrine after realizing their ideology was false. With one day until the demonstration, Hye-Jin worries that time is running out. Eventually Hye-Jin agrees to upload the video, and Dongwook has the means to help do it. Hye-Jin does her bit on video, pointing out the baby's decree and promising to show Toy's death live at 9:30 p.m. the following day. Dongwook slips outside, though, and rings Chairman Kim, telling him he's grown disillusioned with everything. It turns out Dongwook actually received a decree of his own 3 years ago, and this is due to take place 5 minutes after the babies. Chairman Kim sees this as a great opportunity to manipulate the guy, claiming Dongwook is actually the Messiah. And he falls for it too. Who is Dongwook? If that wasn't enough, it's soon revealed that Dongwook is actually the skull mask guy from Arrowhead. This explains who he is, but not how he managed to align himself with Hye-Jin. Tracking his signal, Deacon Youngjae takes off with his followers and finds Hye-Jin's parked car. However, Dongwook appears to be ready for them, and kills several of the guards. Youngjae heads down and notices the bodies on the floor, following the maniacal laughter to Dongwook, who's now disguised in his skull mask getup. He intends to kill Hye-Jin, Youngjae and Hye-Jin, which throws big questions over exactly why they actually trusted him. Anyway, after knocking out Youngjae, he races back into the room and rushes at the pair. Hye-Jin is ready for him, though, and begins beating the guy down a wrench when he races into the room. What happens to Toy? Does the baby die? All this commotion brings out the other residents onto the balconies, who watch as Hye-Jin cradles Toy out in the courtyard. With people getting their phones ready, residents begin filming the demonstration as it's about to begin. Deacon Youngjae races up to the area with the police. The snarling hell beasts arrive, as Hye-Jin and Youngjae both cradle Toy between them, and form a protective cocoon. As the beasts arrive, and do their thing, they burn the trio to a crisp. Or do they? In the smoldering mess, a faint cry can be heard. Toy survives. It's not really explained how, but he's alive all the same. Dongwook sees this and looks set to kill the child until Hye-Jin jumps in. The hell beasts are next though, killing Dongwook in front of everyone. Off the back of this, New Truth are made out to be complete liars by an old man who questions their principles. Youngjae loses his temper and beats the man to a pulp. This is recorded in front of everyone. This action sees the police officer next to him turn and arrest Youngjae for battery. With the people of Korea presumably starting to wake up to the truth, the camera pans across Korea as we fade to black. How does Hellbound Season 1 end? The episode ends with a startling revelation. Over at Jungja's place, 4 years after her shocking death, her bird remains suddenly begin moving, and she's brought back from the dead. But how? What happened to allow this? Well, guess we'll have to wait for Season 2. How and why did Jungja return? Now, if we go based on Christian teachings, since the show was gearing toward the idea of Toy being the chosen one Messiah, it would make sense that this second coming is personified by Jungja returning. This could also be a sign that Judgment Day is upon us, with each of these sinners returned to this plane of existence before the final end. If that's the case, it could set up an interesting power dynamic, especially if Jin-Soo also returns too. What do the Hell Beasts represent? One of the more interesting motifs here is that of the number 3. Now, in Hebrew 3 means harmony, new life and completeness, which could be indicative of this new life beyond earth and in hell, regardless of how twisted and messed up that may be. Interestingly, in the book of Revelation, we also see an evil trinity. Satan, the Antichrist, and the false prophet, and these hell beasts could well be the personification of these. It's difficult to say with absolute clarity what these beasts are, and how deeply the tie to Christianity and religion as a whole is, but everything here is poised nicely for a dramatic second season to come, should this be renewed. Who is the woman at the end of Hellbound? Much of Hellbound Season 1, Episode 6, centers on the character of Bae Youngjae and his wife, Song So-hye. The pair learned that their newborn baby has been condemned to hell. Television producer Bae is a skeptic of the New Truth religious group and strongly dislikes their power over the South Korean media. What is the point of Hellbound? Hellbound ensures that, while the pummeling monsters stubbornly remain a mystery, the brutality that human beings commit to each other always hurts. Hellbound has an exciting sense of growth across 6 episodes that shows how the New Truth's ideas take over. How did the baby survive in Hellbound? But when the emissaries arrive, So-hye backs out of the plan and tries to save her baby. In the end, So-hye and Youngjae shield the baby and are killed by the emissaries. While many believe the child died as well, baby Toy survives. Phew, well, that was a mess. Before I dive into the numerous questions that haven't been answered and try to give my take on what's going on here, Hellbound's first half has been really solid. The characters were nicely developed, the ideas paced appropriately, and there's a good atmosphere that helped everything unfold in a very organic and natural way. The whole Jungja storyline was perfect, showing off the misuse of social media, the dangers of misinformation, and diving into the whole religion vs science debate. And then we get the time jump. For the jump forward 4 years, this show has been on a downward spiral, and eventually everything unravels right at the end. A prime example being the antagonistic threat. With no Jinsu around, the charismatic figureheads are gone, and the New Truth is reduced to an organization rather than a cult-like individual. If that wasn't enough, the show then decides to bring in a number of different ideas that just don't really work. Take the baby's decree as an example. Surely, there would have been other babies around the globe that would have the exact same decree. Even if Toy is the first, it still doesn't change the fact these rules have been distorted and changed to fit the narrative. How does the baby survive? Can a decree be cheated? And how have the rest of the world reacted to this? On the subject of questions, why has Jungja returned from the dead? What are these hellbeast creatures? Why are individuals that aren't sinners given their decrees? What happened to Hye-Jin and what happened within the 4-year time jump? What's going on with the government? And how do Arrowhead feature in this? All these questions and more are left unanswered, and it makes for an unnecessarily annoying and contrived series devoid of answers. So given the show has left things open, I'll do my best to try and come up with some solutions. Again, take some of these ideas with a pinch of salt. Will there be a season 2 for Hellbound? So, for now, the Netflix series Hellbound has not been cancelled. There is still a chance another installment will release, and fans should be patient when it comes to waiting for an official update regarding the show's future. So how do you interpret that ending? Do you have any ideas surrounding what's happened and why Jungja has returned? Do let us know in the comments box.